Hey guys, I'm making a very quick video just to go over some of the questions that I have been presented with. So you're writing your rhetorical analysis essays, and I want you to remember that when you're doing that, it's not your job to argue the cause of the author, but to discuss the effectiveness of the argument of the author. So the first step is making sure that you understand, number one, the argument, number two, the reasons for the argument, and number three, the rhetorical devices that are being used to validate that argument. You've got lists and notes which contain a lot of different rhetorical devices, and so remember that you can talk about those. When you recognize those in your annotations, those are the things you should be replying to and responding to in your paper. So when writing your essay, remember that you're evaluating the effectiveness of the rhetoric, the effectiveness of the argument. So, number one, do you understand the claim? Number two, do you agree with the claim? And number three, how did the author persuade you to agree with the claim? Or what did the author lack that caused you to disagree with his claim? So those are the things that you should be keeping in mind as you're talking with us, your audience, about your topic and about your sources. There's the bell. Remember that your audience is composed of your classmates and of me. So you've got to educate us on what you learned and about why you were persuaded or why you were not persuaded. All right, so next thing on my notes. Do use your notes. Talk about the devices and the result. That's the analysis part. The result of those devices that are in the paper. All of the things that I've just discussed are the things that should sort of be part of your introductory paragraph, okay? So the background, the context for the argument, exactly what the claim was, and then whether or not that was effective to you, whether or not you believed it. Your second source. I've had some questions about incorporating your second source. So your second source should be incorporated to give further support to the first source. For instance, a paper may read, I'm going to give you a very generic example. You would replace the author with your author's names and credentials, okay? So, the author makes a compelling argument to students of all ages that bullying prevention starts at home. My second author validates the effectiveness of home prevention by acknowledging that 75% of parents deny their children are capable of bullying other children. A startling 90% of those children are accused of bullying more than twice in their educational careers. Okay, so just now I gave a statement from my first source, and then I used my second source to further validate the opinion of the first source. And if you're incorporating your second source, that's an example of how you can do it. All right, so I'm going to remind you also to be sure that you have a works cited page, that it is titled appropriately. I want to remind you to focus on MLA format. If you have questions about MLA format, go to Purdue OWL or pull your resources. You have notes, you have a page for building citations. And I want to remind you that as you're working through revising to improve voice, you should send me a picture of each of these pages completed. It should be marked up. Your rough draft should be marked up. And really and truly, if you get all the way through this packet and you don't write a great paper, I'll be super surprised. So use the resources that you have. Remember that you still have me. I'm here for you. I can answer your questions. You can email me. You can message me on Remind. I'll try to do a few more of these quick, short videos in lieu of class discussions. I miss you guys. It's going to be okay. We've got this. Reach at me if you got questions, okay? Now what do I do, Scarlett?
Hey guys, hit the subscribe button if you don't, but you might actually have to make use the bell or a thumbs up. Give this a huge thumbs up if you liked it, or a thumbs down if you didn't.
No thumbs down.
Make sure that you do a thumbs up.
Yeah, what she said.
Woo.
Have a good day, guys.